Night of the Living podcast is always ad-free for patrons at patreon.com/NOTLP.
Saturday night at the movies, who cares what picture you see?
Oh, when you're hugging and a kissing with Kelley in the balcony. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah!
Yeah, it's Silver Screams. We're covering movies within movies.
Movies with movies.
Movies with movies.
Next month we're doing Silver Spoons, and it's just a month
Movies with spoons.
of the Ricky Schroeder
joints.
joint.
I'd rather not if we could. Can we can we review some of his like going to Costco and yelling at them for making people wear masks videos? Those are movies of a sort.
He became a real prick.
Yeah, he's one of those.
Yeah. Andy, you have any strong feelings about Ricky Schroeder?
Oh, he can fuck off and die.
He can fuck up and die.
You like Alfonso Ribeiro?
Sure. Life was a dance. He's a good host.
Who was the dad? No, I can't remember.
I can't remember his name, but I can picture him perfectly.
I always got him mixed up with the guy who was in Airplane.
Yeah,
They
I know
look very
why.
much
I
alike.
understand why. They have that similar weird, close together eyes.
Yeah.
You're talking about Robert Hayes.
Yes, he reminds me of Robert Hayes.
Yeah.
He's like the cheaper.
He's taller.
He's like a knockoff Robert Hayes, but he has a train in his living room.
He has a train in his
He
living room.
knows all 80s actors' heights.
He's got a big head. I just I can picture him perfectly.
The stepmom
Picture it.
on that show,
Erin Gray.
Erin Gray.
She didn't start off as a stepmom. She was his secretary.
She was on Buck Rogers.
She was his secretary.
That's right.
Wow. Is that what we're here for?
We're here. Thank you, patrons, by the way. We can't do this without
Welcome
you.
to Silver Spoons Cast.
I did something weird.
What'd you do?
Well, I was just going to say, if you're a patron, I made a post today that was like a murder board. And if you don't know what a murder board is, I thought,
Google it.
He makes it sound like he sent a dick pic and he's apologizing for it.
Yeah, it does,
now.
doesn't
I
it?
did something weird today.
He wanted to post a weird collage he made out of our notes and thoughts about watching Popcorn, which
Yep.
is our movie today, and like an interactive board. And it's not easy to work with.
No.
It's kind of a hot mess.
I would
but
say-
he had so much fun putting it together.
it was fun to make. And if you enjoy it, I would say the best way to enjoy it is at a desktop computer with
buy
a
a
mouse.
huge monitor.
Yeah, because it's like literally like it's a virtual.
Yeah,
there's an app where I was like, okay, I'm taking my notes. I want to spice things up.
I just wanted to use the Notes app,
No,
but I wasn't allowed.
But we used this other app because you can take notes together, at the same time.
Oh, hey, real quick. This just in. Speaking of, this is tangentially tied to that. I just heard from my wife, there are new episodes of the Murder Tapes. So if you're a Murder
Shit,
Tapes
yeah,
fan,
Murder
maybe
Tapes.
the greatest of the
Murder
true crime
Tapes.
It is a
shows.
good
That
one.
is a good one.
That was a good one.
There are new episodes.
Have you ever seen that, Andy?
I'm not a ghoul.
Yeah, you're probably better off not watching it.
Ghouls? You know,
That's not a
it's
bad
ghoulish.
thing. I just don't like
It's definitely ghoulish.
I'm not
It's ghoulish.
I'm not a true crime person.
Yeah.
I try to. I'm not gonna pretend to like them just because everybody else likes it in the room.
No,
I'm not a pick me.
You know what though? I go through moments.
I
Andy,
tried
where
to.
I'm like that.
No, I did. I honestly did try to watch these things, and it just
You're a
got to
sensitive
me.
little tender
They're
boy.
not good for you.
It's
I-
okay.
it's like
We
say,
took
you
a
know,
break for a while.
Yeah.
Like I think every so often you take a break, maybe if you're like us, but
You go to Animal Attacks as like
Yeah.
a
But then we get
break,
back.
like a tea break, and then you come back.
Sins and Secrets
Yeah.
really great if you haven't watched. It's a lot like City Confidential. It's about the city.
I love those.
Oh, it's so good.
So yeah, anyway, Freddie posted this interactive murder board. We were thinking it could be a fun thing for all listeners, but probably not.
It's just a PDF. So if you're a patron, you have access to it. It's just a big PDF, which is a cork board. Like if you a murder
It's
board,
already been
it's the
explained.
yarn and everything.
We don't have to keep talking about it.
So, but the interactive thing, not to oversell the interactivity of it, you can like zoom in and there are some videos.
Oh wait,
Oh,
that's
okay.
the interactivity.
You can zoom in,
Oh,
but there are also some videos. Some
Oh,
videos
there's some videos.
that we even took.
So you had to.
Oh, yeah.
So you had to click through a lot of things to find the videos. Kind of like
You just gotta. You don't click through. You
It's not a
scroll
PowerPoint.
over.
Oh,
You're
okay.
just looking at it. That's why I
Okay.
think a desktop's best.
Patreon.com/NOTLP. If you're interested in knowing more about that. Also, we just recorded an Origins.
Yeah, we did.
From prior to Christmas 2011, where we were discussing Stevie King and Christine, where Freddy just got every fact
He didn't get every fact wrong. I want to make sure I point that out. That he got a lot right, and and you were in the book, like you remember a lot of details.
Well, I love the book, but also when I read something, I make it my own.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I do.
It's like I'll like have weird casting in my head, and I'll be like, well, they don't fit, so maybe the character is not Puerto Rican.
Right. Like I can't get into a book until I cast everybody because I'm a visual person.
It helps.
So I can see it in my mind, and then sometimes as the story progresses, actors drop in and out of my mind.
Yeah.
And it gets recast.
Yeah, you can recast it because you might misjudge somebody.
Yeah.
You're like, no, somebody who does that wouldn't look like this.
See, when I read, I don't want to cast because the minute I cast somebody, I'm like, I don't know. So I just need to know brown hair, blue eyes, beard, no beard, tall, not tall. And
Do
then
they have blank faces?
Yes, honestly, it's
You
all
have
about
Mine too, like
No,
Slendermans.
mine is. I'm the
Yeah.
same way, Amy. I don't usually. I mean, I might have they might have like a vague
Right.
shape, but it's definitely more of an idea.
It's just it's an idea.
Unless
of a
I mean,
person.
and if they're specifically described, then I'll have sort of that amorphous.
Oh man, a good filmmaker should create just an art short of what it's like to really visualize what you guys see
It
when
probably
you
would look
read.
real creepy, scary.
Yeah.
It's definitely more conceptual.
Andy and I are seeing like reality, right? I think that I have to try to make sometimes I struggle with fantasy novels for that reason, where they're like describing some
doesn't bother
tower.
me.
That's why I couldn't get past
Game Oh yeah, that's a lot.
I know the series came out already when I tried to read it, but I hadn't seen the series yet, so I didn't know who was in the TV show maker's mind. So I had to cast them.
I mean, I don't know if you have this experience, like with things like that. Like I kind of file people. I have files.
Yeah.
Binders full of women.
And I have binders full of women. And so like characters like that, like I'll file them away. It's a lot like almost seeing the words on the page.
Exactly.
For me. Yeah.
It's more about what I'm reading than what I'm seeing in my mind. I don't need to see it in my mind. I'm reading it.
Your mind is seeing it in your mind's
My
mind.
mind is reading it and seeing it, and therefore
Inception.
creating it.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter.
I get what I know exactly.
You know,
where you're
I
coming
think
from.
sometimes I do that if I'm not like if it's not a major character. I guess I do that.
I know. I don't.
But
ever do
major
it.
characters,
I
do
try
it.
to
think.
you're
Same.
reading a sexy romance novel and you're like, ooh, I wonder what this fella. Ooh, let me think if it's, and it just doesn't work for me like that.
They always come up as Ricky Schroeder.
Yep.
Same. Well, I agree. Well, I might try to. I've done the same thing where I've tried to cast like who would play them, but then I'll forget. Like I'll lose it.
Yeah.
Like I'll come up with a big. Oh, okay. Right. This is gonna be blah blah blah. And then like I'm reading, I'm like, wait, who was it I had thought of? Oh, right, blah blah blah. And I have to keep reminding myself. And
Then
so
I blah blah
just,
blah and you blah blah blah.
I just stop.
Blah 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 on her blah blah blah.
Ba 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 ba. Do you love me? We had such a good time at the meetup playing that internet search game. Or well, that was actually just a random thing we did on Discord. I think where we played. Remember Andy, the internet search game.
You're bouncing
The Jackbox
You're
game.
kind of bouncing all over the
Let me
place.
translate.
Well, I'm just
so
saying.
every Thursday we have a meetup with our patrons, and we like to play Jackbox games, and we played a game called Survive the Internet
I wrecked my segue. I'm
with
bleeding.
our meetup friends, and we had a really great time with it. And then when we were just goofing off playing games on Saturday, we also met up with Andy and Bill, and we played that game again
On
and
the
it was
Discord,
fun.
which is wonderful shit. That Discord is magic for someone like me who is a lonely guy sometimes. You know, I get in there, it's like
The
the old
epidemic
party
of male
lines.
loneliness.
And
We're
they're-
solving it.
They're like, yeah, we're working on it. And you know, live girls are standing by.
Oh.
For all you know.
Horny single MILFs are in your area looking to talk.
Ugly woman looking to fuck. You ever see that one?
No.
Yowzer. That was the weirdest pop-up ad I've ever seen.
Well, isn't it based on your search history? The
Well, I do.
pop-up ads?
I look for search terms were ugly women looking to fuck. So maybe.
So the actors they're done striking, right? So we can start seeing promotion and we can start seeing news about things coming out. Does everybody already feel exhausted?
I didn't even know. I mean, I knew the thing ended, but I didn't know. I haven't seen anything else.
They officially signed anything yet, or is it still in the ratify? Doesn't matter. Anyway, I feel like we're hearing about things, which is weird because did you even notice you weren't hearing about things?
Well,
since July.
I don't consume a lot of new media anyway, so this didn't really affect me.
Well, I just feel like things would just pop up randomly, or I didn't know something was coming out.
Like that. What's that heavy metal show that you were talking about? You guys didn't know about that at all.
Twisted Metal?
Twisted Metal.
Oh, yeah. Twisted Metal was just something that we stumbled upon, and it looks like a pretty big budgeted program. I normally would have a huge push behind it.
But the strike happened.
I think I did notice it just in things like that I watch where it's like, okay, like the Sunny podcast being gone.
Being gone, yeah.
That kind of kept it in my mind. And then like being delayed, like Star Trek Strange New Worlds being delayed for the 3rd season. Like that makes me aware of it because I'm like,
Yeah. I'm dying for the new season of Severance.
Severance.
And it won't be until next year.
So many things got pushed.
Pushed.
It got pushed, guys.
Peace.
But yeah, I guess it's a weird blank spot you didn't know you had until it comes back fully. But I don't know why you laughed.
Did you want a fall preview?
Why I laughed just then?
Yeah.
You want to know why?
I do.
Because when you said that thing, how did you phrase that? You didn't know
what you got till it's gone.
There was a blank spot.
Kelly?
There's a blank spot.
Yeah, you didn't know it was
you didn't
there.
until it's filled.
Till it's me.
And that's why I chuckled.
I should have known. I'm off my game
that's
tonight.
all. That's okay.
Sometimes what you were searching for was right in front of you the whole time.
Well, I wasn't trying to be obvious about
Is it ugly women ready to fuck?
It was
Ugly women ready to fuck.
It was a genuine chuckle, so I wasn't trying.
No,
I
it was
wasn't
good.
trying to get anything going, if you know what I mean.
Sure. There's a reason we keep our furnace set at 69.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, baby.
I mean, ugly from whose perspective? Who? Eye of the beholder is what I say.
You don't need to search for that. You can go to
subjectively ugly women.
you can go down the street to Walmart or Kroger.
Yeah,
They're all over.
Eye of the beholder.
They're everywhere.
Why are you obsessing over this?
Oh, Andy brought it up.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm looking to fuck some ugly women. Is that what you want to hear?
No.
Yes, I started dating you on a bet. No. Sometimes what you needed was standing right in front of your empty space the whole time, and then someone filled it.
What am I going to do with him?
Yeah.
What am I going to do with him?
I think he just shored everything up.
Oh, sure.
Like it was all these loose threads we had floating around. And
I made
Freddy
it
just
make
like
sense.
he just
I made a sweat. It's like when someone makes a quilt out of rags.
you're like a little spider. You go down the line.
Turns out all the ugly women need to do is take off their glasses, and they're beautiful.
And then
Oh,
they're
yeah,
beautiful. And then they are subjectively beautiful women.
Okay, cool. What else do we have at the top here? Strike ended. That's cool. I don't think any horrible things are happening in the world, but that's not our purview.
Yeah.
I haven't done much for a week, so I don't know what I'd have to report.
Oh, progress on the album. I'm making an album. And I'm saying this to hold myself accountable.
Freddy's holding himself accountable.
You are all now his accountability buddies.
So January, I'm hoping to release an LP, probably through Patreon, my separate Patreon that you won't see yet. But I just that happened this week. That decision. That's a big decision.
Yeah, it is a big decision.
You played some music for us, and it was really good.
Thanks.
It was. Agreed. I'm looking forward to it.
I hope other people like it.
We got a little preview of Kelley's new music too.
Yeah, we did.
I also have an album that it'll probably be closer to the spring when mine is done, is all done. But yeah, we got music coming out
Quarterly.
These boys are very talented, and you should be very excited. It's an embarrassment of riches. And then Andy and I, our sex tape is coming out.
I'm also looking forward to that.
It's called Ugly Women.
And Freddy and Kelley do the score.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mostly strings, very
And we
classy.
scored too.
Score!
So that will also be released through the Patreon.
Is that any shocking anymore? Any
What?
sex tapes? Because everybody has their OnlyFans now.
No.
I don't.
Well, everybody.
I have a
has
podcast. Everybody has a podcast. Not everybody has a
Well,
OnlyFans.
everybody has a podcast or OnlyFans
Or,
or just for fans. I don't know why
I
there's
don't think
two
you're gonna
platforms.
Go see Reba McEntire's sex tape.
Oh, I
anywhere.
would.
I'd go see
No,
Curiosity.
absolutely.
Oh no, I'm saying it doesn't exist.
No.
Andy
We
says
don't know
everyone
that.
has one.
I'm just saying, it's not a shock anymore to say.
Bird
I
Johnson
bet
tape.
she has one somewhere.
The way we were all like, yeah, I'd see it. What are you talking about?
I didn't say I wouldn't watch it. I said it doesn't exist.
Reba.
It belongs in a museum.
Let's see if the was it Curtains Master Drapes.
Reba.
Did you say Lady Bird Johnson has one?
Oh yeah. I don't know. I'm just kidding. I just watched a documentary. Her name was in the top of my head.
Everybody's a content creator now.
Well,
Well, that's true. Everyone's famous now.
Everybody.
Yeah.
What we haven't talked about though is the way Ohio fucking showed the fuck up
Yeah, abortion
for
and weed,
election
baby.
day. We're getting
Which is awesome.
we're taking your babies. We're gonna get them real high, and then we're gonna kick them out of your womb.
No, that's how we abort them, Amy.
Yeah.
Very
We blow weed smoke up their vaginas, and then the weed smoke suffocates the babies.
and then it goes shooting out.
is
Science.
a very positive and powerful day.
It felt good,
Yeah.
But so I'm very
But-
proud of everyone. But
but
Oh.
But
how come you're not there? We're all not there like that
right all the time.
all the time when shit needs to get done. When that's not giant things. Let's change some.
Let's be better.
I'm
people.
sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know what just happened to me.
I was just reflecting on what you said. You're right.
It was.
Oh, but I don't usually talk
Proud.
about stuff like that. But it did occur to me.
You're
No,
like,
it's
I
good.
care about something. Shit. Oh fuck! I showed I cared about something in public.
Exactly.
We passed our library levy and our zoo levy.
You're a good man.
Well,
And for the first time ever, I voted against the police levy. Because I was like, wait a minute, Amy, walk the talk, defund the police. Done. Anyway, Ohio did that shit. So don't give me flyover country or all a bunch of hillbilly pig fuckers.
Although, if you try to take my fucking pig away from me, I will shoot you. From our dead, cold hands.
Not my fucking pig.
it's like, wait, is that an eating pig or a fucking pig?
Did you guys?
haven't decided about this one yet.
Did you want to? Is that everything for the top?
Yeah.
Sports Corner is canceled.
Canceled.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Fuck you,
Fuck you,
Houston.
Texas.
Hello, boys and girls. It's time for Straight-to-Video Russian Roulette.
Oh shit! I had the movie too.
Did you forget?
No, I didn't forget that I had the movie.
No, I
just
know you
forgot,
watched it, but
I just forgot that I wasn't prepared to talk immediately. But all right, Hell House LLC Origins.
Oh, that's right.
The Carmichael Manor.
it's the world's longest
Is this a prequel?
It is a prequel.
of a sort.
So this is the same filmmaker, Stephen Cognetti, returning to with some fresh cinematography, new cinematographer, and it shows.
Oh.
Amy watched this with me.
I did, and I actually really liked it.
It was very good. This is, I'll go ahead and say right off the top here because I'm not going to totally
can't spoil it because we like
it. But if you want to check it out, totally worth the time just to pause, check it out, and come back because it is as far as found footage goes, it's one of the better ones I've seen. So I have some notes. Let me grab my notes.
Do you have your notes?
There, I think I left my construction paper and my diorama of the Carmichael Manor at home.
Did you put it in a box?
But this was filmed at Fern Hall Estate and Clifford Township and some other locations around northeast Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania.
PA.
So,
Yeah, dude.
and there's this adorable bit in the closing credits where they thank the local businesses. Like they show the shots from the movie that were shot at those businesses and the names of the businesses and thank them. I love that. This movie still has that kind of handmade thing. And that Cognetti only makes Hell House LLC movies. It's just what he does. He makes
This is
these movies.
LLC. I mean,
This is limited liability corporation. So this house that it's set in, I was trying to figure out if it was colonial, federal colonial, Georgian colonial, but it's beautiful.
Like, he spent time and he's asking me questions about what's happening in the movie because he's not looking, but he's looking up this.
Well, I had to know because this place is gorgeous. But in the process of trying to figure out what it was, I found it's an Airbnb that you can rent
Oh.
in Pennsylvania.
Well, question real quick.
Yeah.
Why was it so important for you to know what architectural style
I would
it is?
love to know.
Because the house is so important to the movie that it was worth mentioning. You know what I mean? Like, if I was like,
I would not have looked
if I was
that
like,
up.
it's a set in a mid. If the main thing about it is the location, like
It's a big stone
you
house.
can't. It's beautiful. It's 2 gables. It's huge. It's like an old style mansion, but very like critical to the movie. Like it's so much better than the Abaddon Hotel, which is where the other movies were set. Like, it's a huge upgrade as far as location goes. It's gorgeous. And for like $1,100, you can it sleeps like 15 or 16 people. $1,100 a night. You split that up.
But it's haunted, so
But apparently it's haunted.
I don't know if
Andy, we were about to say something. I'm
in
sorry.
real life.
No, I'm just still wondering why you need
I
to
know.
figure out the architectural
There's still
style.
no
Oh, just because
satisfying answer other than he just wanted to know.
It's stone. It's odd. It's slightly in between. It's not exactly like normally you can look at a house and be like, okay, I recognize these 3 things as a layman, and I can tell you what kind of house it is. This was harder. Like,
I don't have that.
Yeah.
You don't have. You
I
don't
just see the
understand
house and like, oh,
houses?
that's a creepy house.
That's
I
a
love
house.
houses.
That's
Oh.
got 2 stories.
Houses make my dick hard. The good kind of houses with porches and stuff.
Oh fuck,
Don't get me
man! Give me a
started.
porch, and it's like,
No, I love house porn.
I
but
love houses. I
I
just
don't
don't know-
care
yeah, I don't know
who.
what they
but I don't
made
care what it
or-
looks like.
Yeah.
I mean, what it is architecturally.
It's not even that I don't care. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
never
another
think
kind of
about it.
art.
All right,
you know?
I can't talk about it
You know,
anymore.
you like
Let's
to-
just continue.
That's Freddy's marvelous mind.
So, anyways, it's Fern Hall, and in real life, it's called Fern Hall. It's named for this lush greenery that's all around it. It's on
A
100
hall of
acres.
ferns, as it
Are you
were.
reading a Wikipedia page?
No, I pulled this from their Airbnb. It was built in 1916. It's gorgeous. But this couple, Margot and Rebecca, they're making a documentary about. Here's a part of it that I was a little confused on with their. I feel like the subject of their documentary was a little vague.
So Margot is the actual filmmaker, but her girlfriend came with her, and she's part of this Net Sleuths like YouTube
Right.
channel. So there's like a cold case. Like, there was a murder that happened in the house with this family. Some members were murdered, some members disappeared, and nobody really knows what happened. So she's going to the house. She was able to get it for 5 nights to investigate and try to figure out what happened.
Right, and there's the whole kind of familiar, almost Stuart Ullman at the Overlook Lodge showing Jack around kind of moment
Yeah.
with the guy who owns the place or at least manages the place, and he's showing them around, and then you meet the filmmaker's brother, who I really enjoyed. He's
he
a
comes to help.
cameraman. He comes to help operate the other camera. Chase. He's really charming and funny. Performance is really good. Actually, acting in this acting
It was really good.
If you look at, have you guys seen all the other Hell House
I
movies?
saw
I
the
haven't
first
seen
one,
any of the other
but it's been so
houses.
long that I don't really remember it.
Yeah, like they kind of had the acting was okay, but it was kind of like a little pro-am. Like, it wasn't like people who it didn't feel like people who devoted their lives to being actors.
It didn't feel natural, like, because found footage is supposed to be like almost improv-y and
Right.
natural, but
Right.
some people kind of force it.
Well, yeah. Also, just level of like maybe experience and craft and education. Like, this cast is miles ahead of no shame on what they did in the earlier movies, but this cast is a much more competent, refined set of actors. So like they do a really awesome job of selling why they would want to even be there. You understand everybody's motives really well. Decisions they make generally make sense. There's a couple of funky moments. And all the actors are not great. There is at least there's one talking head. I won't say who. I just generally there was one talking head. I felt like they either they might have let him improvise his dialogue maybe, but it sounded like kind of like high school poetry level of like talking about this case, you know. And it made the character seem like they weren't the kind of expert you would expect to see as a talking head because of the way they were talking in these grand, broad terms about this case instead of being
So it's
specific.
like a mix between found footage and recorded stuff.
Talking heads.
It's,
Like,
it's a documentary within a documentary. So
it's like we found this footage. This is
Yeah.
what happened to them.
Yeah, they're like they're dead. They basically tell you right from the get.
Right from the beginning.
Yeah, that they're gonna die, but then they're in for it. So that's kind of, I like that sometimes with a horror story to know right from go if it's going to be this tragedy, and then it's just a
Yeah, I
matter
like
of
that.
it's kind of
'cause,
fun.
I remember Lake Mungo did that too, and I really
Yeah.
like that movie.
Yeah.
Makes it kind of like an adventure, a game.
Makes it feel more real.
Or it's like in Hot Tub Time Machine when Crispin Glover only had the one arm, but you don't know why. And then they set that up in the beginning, and then they go back in time to when he had two arms. So the whole movie, you're just looking at him in the background waiting for his arm to get cut off.
Yeah.
So that's what these movies do.
Yep.
They crib a little bit from a movie that Amy just watched for the first time called Amityville: The Evil Escapes.
That was the third one, right? Or
or 3 or 4. It might have been
Somewhere in there.
3 was 3D.
there's too many of
This
them.
was, I think, made for TV, wasn't it? It was Patty Duke, right?
Yeah.
And they have the
yeah.
lamp that they take from the Amityville house, and
It's haunted. It brings the
it
evil
with it. So
Haunted lamp?
Yeah, it comes in the
Oh,
lamp.
come on.
yeah. So this is how they justify changing locations, right? So it's the same thing in this movie where why if it's so, all the other movies are about the Abaddon Hotel, which is not a great location. It was maybe a convenient location to make a horror movie in, but
I don't know. I liked the whole thing in the first movie, so it didn't really bother me as much. But please,
well,
continue.
it was scary. It made it scary because
Yeah.
it did look run down and stuff. But to
Yeah.
go back there over and over again,
Yeah.
it gets stale. It's like these are kind of virtual haunts in a lot of respects, so you don't want to go through the same haunt every year. So they make this excuse that artifacts from the Abaddon were moved after the fire in the earlier movies to this house for
Oh,
storage.
so it's the cursed
no,
objects
that's not
that-
what happened. But
no, there was a connection later that she figured out. I don't want to spoil it by saying
she
more.
brings the items there that she found in a store.
Are we talking about this movie or the other movies?
Hold
this
up.
movie.
That's the grandfather clock, but there was some other stuff that was already there, right?
Oh, that's right, because the son worked
the
there.
son had it,
The
and that's the thing I didn't want to
son?
spoil.
Oh shit!
That's why I didn't say exactly that. But that's a small spoiler.
Yeah,
It won't ruin it for you. But just know that it's very much pulling from Amityville, which I think is great. It's a great reference, like for hardcore horror fans that are probably going to recognize it. I think it's pretty blatant.
So this is the original haunted house, and the Abaddon is just the
No.
objects they bring from there.
I'm
I
not-
don't-
here?
I'm not sure.
If
Let's
I
not
explain it, it will spoil
Let's
something.
not
Okay.
speculate.
But there is an answer to what you're questioning. If you watch this, they kind of answer it and tie it up, and they make it a more interesting film franchise in the way they wrapped it up. They do a Saw. They do a Saw like 4 or Saw 3. Like those.
But it's
just a moment where they're like, we found a way to make this fresh
Hmm.
again for you. It's the cool side of the pillow kind of thing.
Is it as streamlined as? Is it more streamlined than Saw? Because those got real confusing at a certain
It's not.
point.
Yeah, they did a good job in
Oh
keeping it
yeah,
simple.
it's not. Yeah, no, there's not like huge amounts of things to remember. Like Saw thought you remembered every time you came to see another one. They're like, you guys remember every little thing that happened in every other movie because you're gonna need to.
No, it's not that complex.
Oh, they don't try to young up certain actors by putting a cap on them.
No, they don't. They don't go for broke in that.
I want to see it.
It's more just the idea that this movie franchise that you think you are familiar with and have figured out has a new
It's like building a legacy.
new trick.
They built out some more of the world.
Yeah, baby.
Baby.
So you, man, I don't even think I want to say
Well, then
anymore
stop.
other
That's
than to
okay.
say there's good scares in it. It was odd that there's no composer listed on IMDb, so there was only a few moments of music, but they're really well done, simple, scary, spooky atmosphere stuff. But big recommend from me.
Same.
So, like, how much of a prequel is it? Like earlier than the previous movies?
Not much. I mean, it's still like modern time where
Well,
people.
no, what takes place, these
Oh,
women,
yeah, it's actually-
is after.
It's a prequel and a
but
sequel.
It's a prequel
It's both. It is both because there's a segment of the movie
that gives you some prequel information.
There's found footage within found footage within found footage in this movie, and it's a rabbit hole. So the oldest found footage is the prequel. The middle found footage is the movie they're making about the case that the oldest found footage addresses. And the newest found footage is a professional like crime documentary show that's presenting everything after everyone's dead.
I'm going to put it in your rabbit hole.
Right up my pooper.
Well, you better get consent.
I don't know why you assume that's what your rabbit hole
Yeah,
is.
Freddie, I was not.
That's where I put
thinking
my
pooper.
rabbits. That's where my rabbits go.
All right. You done?
Yep.
Thank you, Freddie,
It was, though.
Welcome.
for that recommend.
It is a butthole.
We're going to go with Pet Cemetery Bloodlines.
Oh, dear. Oh, dearie, dearie, dear.
For next week's movie. I don't know. This is a movie that snuck into our lives thanks to the strikes. So we're going to find out. It's on Paramount Plus. In 1969, a young Judd Crandall and his childhood friends band together to confront an ancient evil that has gripped their hometown. Pet Cemetery Bloodlines is a terrifying prequel based on chapters from Stephen King's novel Pet Cemetery.
That's true. It's the Timmy Baderman
That
story.
seems like a lazy title, just Bloodlines. 'Cause, like a lot of horror movies.
Hey, it's
do
got
that.
a fantastic
Like Origins?
cast. You got Henry Thomas, Pam Grier, David
TLP
Duchovny, Samantha
Bloodlines.
Mathis. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, who knows? I haven't heard much.
Nah, I haven't heard nothing good.
Freddy's spinning the wheel.
I've just jinxed myself. I'm certain of it.
Oh, nope. Looks like it's going to be Mr. Andy.
Bloodlines. Pet
Thank
Cemetery
fuck, man. I really
Bloodlines.
thought this was going to be mine just because of all the jinxing I've done.
The jinkies.
Well, maybe your karma's better than you thought.
I guess.
You got the jinkies on you. You know?
Zoinks.
Turn out lights, it's the main attraction.
Oh, from 1991, the rediscovered cult classic now, considered by many people. Popcorn from, I already said 1991.
Popcorn.
Filmed in Jamaica.
Doesn't look
oddly
like
enough.
Is it really? Is that,
Oh, is that
does
why
that
we
explain
got all the reggae
the
bands?
the reggae band?
Yeah.
I think it does, yeah.
I would have never thought.
Yeah, well, it's a weird
I mean,
movie.
granted, it does take place mostly in a theater, so I guess it could be filmed anywhere.
Because isn't it supposed to be L.A.? It's like L.A. standing in for
Yeah.
Jamaica. Or Jamaica standing in for L.A.
Yeah.
Which is the weirdest damn thing. But it's the story of a film festival
Mm-hmm. Put on by film students
run by film students.
to raise money for some, what was
For
it?
their program.
For their program because everybody else gets the money before they do.
Right,
But
right,
you
right.
want to know why? And this is a note I wrote. This is a department full of dips.
Yeah.
They're just dippy, which is fine because I enjoyed the movie and had a great time.
this is
but
what-
they're dips.
It fit the tone of the movie. The dippy people.
They were dippy.
Yeah.
Like it's a dippy movie.
It's like the audience at a Rocky Horror Picture
Yeah.
Show. It
Yeah.
feels like that kind of vibe. They even come dressed in the attendees to the
Yeah.
festival later are all in costume. It's really fun looking. I would go to it.
Remember how I said a couple weeks ago, silly gooses are having their moment right now?
Yeah.
This is a silly goose of a movie.
It is. Agreed.
We need more silliness in
So-
this world.
We watched the Joe Bob version, and he had this from a few years back, and he had Jill Sholin on, the main lady, to talk about it. And what you come to find out is that they fired the director like a few days in, they fired the main actress a few days in. Like it was chaos, and it wasn't like well planned movie. And I think that shows in the story.
Yeah.
And again, I still enjoyed myself. Somehow.
I did too. It was definitely kind of all over the place a little bit with some of the stuff.
Get your motor run.
I did. I would have liked the. I both liked and didn't like this. I did like that and I'm jumping ahead, but that the cult of hippie filmmakers,
The film cult.
like I liked that all they did was mostly just take film of just their faces as they like tripped balls.
Possessor.
But I think that's kind of funny. But also, like I was like, oh, but it's not very spooky.
No, it wasn't. Like the killer had some spooky moments, but it wasn't really a spooky movie. But it was more about
laugh too hard.
The real the killer from the
Yeah.
movie. I thought the scene where he reveals Toby with the masks.
With the
that
masks,
was
the
really
peeling.
disgusting. Like that. Was,
Yeah, it was great.
It was so well done too.
yeah, it was really good.
Is
Like
that a
this-
burn joke?
No,
the way that
no, well done is just it's still edible. Burned, it's just
biting,
beyond edible.
she's biting the face off of him and the strings of skin and everything.
Yeah.
Woo, it was gross, but I liked it.
It was fun that one of the fun things, if you didn't see the last drive-in version of this, Jill Schoen was the cave girl from the old cologne commercial or perfume commercial for Cody Musk.
Wild Musk.
Wild Musk.
Which one is Jill Schoen in this movie? Is
She's
she
the main girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bangs.
The Kristen
She's wearing
Ritter?
a wig, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a wig.
That's a thirsty wig.
Yeah, it was very dry.
Toby was really great. That guy looks like
That
a
guy-
Toby for
He's
sure.
been in other stuff.
Oh yeah, Tom Villard. He died sadly. He died at 40. I think. Was it AIDS?
Mm-hmm.
But he was in My Girl
Yeah.
and Heartbreak Ridge. He was in Grease 2.
Ton of shit.
Honestly, Grease 2 is the thing I
was an
remember him from.
He was an episode of Star Trek something.
Oh
I was-
yeah, Deep
Everybody
Space
was.
Nine. He
I
was
was-
probably a Ferengi.
Yeah, I was
bet.
looking up his filmography because, like Kelley said, he looks
large
it's a
for
familiar
that.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my notes here is so many character actors. It really was an embarrassment.
Always loved
Yeah.
Ray Walston.
He was Prylar Beck.
Oh, so he was a Bajoran.
He was a Bajoran.
Cool.
You know that because of the title Prylar. You remember
Yeah.
the character.
And it's Deep Space Nine. It makes sense. But no, I do not remember the character.
Put your glasses up.
What?
Go and dust your shoulders off. Ladies can be pimps too. Push your glasses
Shut
up.
up. It's cool to know Star Trek.
It is cool.
Jinx.
Yeah, there were like the movies within the movies that you get to see.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. I like Mosquito.
I would watch Mosquito.
I would watch Mosquito.
That scene where the mosquito's proboscis comes through the roof of the car and,
And it
sucks
starts to suck the guy's brains.
See, I like how much care they put into the movies within movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there were a lot of little moments that they put in that they didn't have to. So it gave the movie a lot of character.
It did. This was a cut. This slasher was a cut above.
No, because before the show, you said there were like a lot of lazy moments, but to me, there was a lot of thought and effort put into like some moments in this movie.
I agree with you though. I didn't get a chance to really put it into words, but like that's sort of like it throws off the weird moments where they're just like, I don't know, just have her say huh or whatever. Like,
well, I guess because what Amy explained, like
Yeah,
how it was
it makes
chaotic,
sense
that
now.
makes sense. The like lazy
Everything
parts.
but
in the movies within the movie was directed by the original director.
Who is the writer, right? Wasn't he?
Ormsby.
Yeah, I think Alan Ormsby wrote this originally. I'm
He
pretty
was the
sure.
original director, and then he got fired for apparently a guy that was in Porky's, who directed everything else.
I do feel like this could have been like a great, like, well remembered movie if maybe that kind of hadn't happened. But there was a lot of stuff that had care taken, and just even characters, they would go in directions you didn't expect. Like the sort of meathead guy at the beginning turns out to be a decent dude. You know, he's a
Mark?
hero.
They're not stereotypes.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
But he's still like a goofball.
He
too.
is, but he is. That's what's great about
yeah,
him.
because he's an effective hero.
He's allowed to be a horny meathead, but
Yeah.
he's also like a nice guy.
Well, first of all, so he's like, listen, babe, to Jill Schoen, like they're, I guess, casually dating. He's like, if you don't like hang out with me and I don't know, put out, I'm gonna go elsewhere. And she's like, I'm writing a script. And he's like, the script is not gonna blow me. And she's like, but my script. So he's a real asshole in the beginning.
Yeah.
And then apparently, she continues to work on her script. And
It's very like Sydney and Billy from
sort
Scream.
of, but he shows
Yeah.
up at the night of the big, festival with a date.
Mm-hmm.
Did he do it just to
knowing
make her
she'd
jealous?
be there. Yeah. But then he
It's- I know
saves everybody's life
Granted, it is
later.
manipulative, but I don't think he like really was into this chick.
But I did say Mark sucks because I think Mark truly as a dating partner sucks. You want somebody to save your life on the reg? Call Mark.
Yeah.
Mark.
But I don't think he's a good partner.
Well, no, but
he was. By the way, that guy was Eric in Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. Do you remember that movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have fallen asleep to it many a time.
That's a fun movie. It's the most interesting man in the world's in that movie. From the Dos Equis commercials, he's the mall manager. Morgan Freeman. Morgan Fairchild. That's what I meant.
I'm not sure I've ever actually seen it.
Oh, it's terrible. It's great. But
just like Voldemort.
Derek Rydell's in it,
Mark sucks,
who plays Mark.
but then he doesn't.
But it's a big recommend from me. Also, Death Wish 4. He's in that. Big recommend as well.
When they're setting up for the festival,
Yeah.
so they have these multiple movies. So Mosquito, then there's The Stench.
The Stench.
And they have this like bag of smells that they're like deciding on to use the night of the festival in the theater. And I'm pretty sure she said one of the scents was called Fart Plane.
Yeah.
That sounds like it'd be a great movie. You know?
Is it just like what a fart would smell like trapped in a plane? Or like a lot of farts in a plane? I don't know if that's what she said.
Farts took a plane?
Maybe it's the smell of like someone who's farted on a plane. You know, it creeps.
I'm sure I've farted on a plane.
It's crept up to somebody. And as they realize, they're like
in the bathroom.
It's like, oh, no, you know, in the plane.
Oh, in the plane.
If you fart in the bathroom, that goes out the window.
It was the blonde girl, right?
Yeah, Tony.
Well, she had like a couple of moments that were just weird.
She's a weirdo.
Because there was a moment where she's the main girl's like, cover for me at the snack counter, and they leave, and she just says, "I love it."
Joni, right?
Yeah.
She's the one
what do you love?
She's looking through the popcorn machine, pulling faces, right? She's the one with the like platinum blonde,
the
dark
blonde
hair.
hair.
Yeah.
I found her charming.
I did too. I liked her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
adorable.
I feel like we know her.
I could have sworn
Yeah.
that she was set up to be another victim, but she survived in the end.
Like not the literal her, but you know that character.
One of my favorite actors is in this. Well, I mean, it's not that she's like an awesome actor, but she's been in a lot of great stuff, and I like her. Kelley Jo Minter.
Yep, she was People Under the Stairs.
People Under the Stairs. She was in Dream Master.
Who was she in this
Lost
movie?
Boys. She was one of the students. She was the one who was like
She
one of the other
she wants to
ushers, right?
punch the guy at the end.
Oh, okay.
You would know her from probably summer school, I'm guessing, right? Like since we watched that.
And
not
she
that
was
long
in an
ago.
episode of Martin.
Oh yeah.
Martin. Okay. Cool. Good to know.
No, but like
Lots
I
of
want to bring
character
up,
actors.
the character comes up when the little moments of the people yelling at the screen,
Yeah.
and those were like really funny parts actually. The little dialogue parts, and the scene where the guy's dressed up with like a two-headed man.
Oh, I was just gonna say I love the
and he
like.
puts the 3D goggles on his other head too.
It's a nice touch.
So it's those little touches that for me make the movie.
it was made with love.
Yeah,
Obviously.
Well, because it has that kind of horror convention. Like the people, obviously, it is made by people who love it. The guy with the two heads, when somebody else comes up, the first moment they compliment him, and instead of saying anything, he makes the head throw up to sort of.
Yeah,
be
they didn't
like,
have to make
was
the
funny.
other head throw up, but they chose to.
It was
didn't
like
have
a
to.
total con moment, like not Wrath of Khan, but horror con.
We forgot. We haven't mentioned Ray Walston yet, right?
I said I love Ray Walston.
You already said Ray Walston.
I did.
So in their attempt to create this film festival with all these movies that have gimmicks in them, they have this rundown theater, and they're like, I don't know how we're going to do this. And then Ray Walston waltzes in.
Walston's in.
And he's like, don't worry. I got all your gimmicks. I got a gimmick a day. You want
He's Mr.
somebody's
Gimmick.
butthole to be electrocuted? I got you. You want somebody's eye hole to get electrocuted? I got you.
How did you say this character's name? Do you guys remember? It is spelled like crazy to me. It's all consonants.
Doesn't matter.
I think in the movie they called him Mr. M anyway because maybe the name was too hard
Dr.
to-
M.
Yeah, Dr.
Dr.
M.
M.
Yeah.
Ray Walston, I mean.
And then Tony Roberts was the teacher, right?
Yes.
Mr. Davis, another character actor.
He gets killed first, Mr. Davis, the teacher, by a shadowy figure. We don't know who it is.
Mm-hmm.
In a very elaborate way, like all the deaths in this movie.
Because the gimmick for Mosquito is a giant mosquito that flies around the theater, but then it gets stabbed. He hacked that mosquito. The killer hacked it.
Yeah.
Early machine hacking.
That's right.
and then kills him with the mosquito. But what you figure out later is he fucking peels the face off because he's gonna wear him as mask. And those, I'm sorry,
It's a great callback. Like we were talking about Fade to Black, and I was always like, this movie felt like it could be a spiritual sequel to that because this character, it's a slasher that dresses up as, and it's not that he dresses up as movie characters necessarily.
But uses movie trope. You know, I get you.
Yeah.
I had the thought that I was like, I wonder if they were fans of this other movie. I told Colin he should watch Fade to Black.
They're so much fun. Did he watch this one with you?
He watched the last third of it.
Yeah. The scene I think might be my favorite moment in this movie. And I think it's part of Mosquito. It's when the bug comes through the window and everybody's laying on the ground and the one person just starts the Lord's Prayer. And they all kind of come together in this dramatic moment, hold the cross up.
That's at the end when they're about to drop the bomb or something.
Yeah, the bug backs out the window because of the power of Christ.
power of Christ.
It was so hilarious. I mean, for 91.
The movie parodies were great.
Yeah,
I mean, they
really
were really
were.
like smart. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
In the back.
They never showed. Did they show? Wasn't there? There were 4 movies. Did you name all 4 of them? Because I couldn't.
No, there was like the Electrocution Man or
The
something. The
Electrocution Man.
Stench,
Yeah, I think it's 3 movies, wasn't it?
Mosquito, and then the Possessor.
Yeah.
Possessor's the cursed
So
movie.
they, in the midst of like getting the theater ready, they find this movie, and it's just the dude's mouth going, "The Possessor, you're possessed," or whatever. Right?
Yeah.
It's just like that.
Congratulations.
You just met the possessor.
It's about the Possessor. And it turns out this is like a guy named Lanyard Gates.
I said
Lanyard.
whoever wrote this movie did not know that is a word that means something. You can't name somebody Keychain Johnson.
They were looking.
You know what I mean?
They were just desperately looking around their office, like Kaiser Soze.
Keychain.
They're like, "What's your name?" Lanyard.
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 Gates.
It's
Paperclip.
just such a silly name.
Jenkins.
And then Wig goes home to talk to her mom, Dee Wallace.
Yeah.
And it turns out she don't know it yet, but Mama has got a gun. And she's going to go confront Lanyard Gates because she used to be in the cult.
Dun, dun, dun.
But look, that's actually another connection to Fade to Black because her mom is her aunt.
Oh yeah, there's another connection to Fade to Black.
Yeah, her mom is her aunt in this movie.
Dun dun dun.
Because they it's a film cult, which again, whatever that means. But
Whatever that means.
it's like essentially like, when did Waco happen?
90,
So right before this came out.
92, I think.
Oh, 92. Okay,
Yeah,
never
because I remember Clinton and Janet Reno were involved. And
Oh, you're
Yeah.
right. It would have to been after this
Yeah.
movie. Anyway, it felt like a Koresh moment. They're talking about like this play. Was it a theater or something? Wherever these people, this cult was, they were burned and killed inside this building. But except for Dee Wallace, because she started the fire.
I don't remember, but she
Doesn't
shot
matter.
the guy.
She was leaving the cult and taking little baby Wig with her. And
Baby wig.
everybody else died except
They should have had that wig on the baby and the flashbacks. That'd have been
They
so
should
cute.
have. It would have been
Little
great.
blunt bangs on a little baby.
anyway, that's like
Baby
the whole like
blunt bangs.
convoluted fucking backstory. But it gets more convoluted
Oh.
later.
I was confused at how Wig, is that her name now?
I don't remember what her real name was.
Yeah,
in the
Wig.
character?
What's Cara Wig?
Jill Sholin.
Remember she had she like passed out in the theater and then she came to, then all of a sudden
Maggie.
she realized everything and pieced everything together.
Oh, right. She
I
dreamed.
don't
She'd
know.
been
Nowhere.
having dreams that they didn't really like. They opened the movie with the dream sequence, which I wrote down was a risk. Don't
Yeah.
do that right away. But like, I guess she has been dreaming about him, the mouth possessor
I mean,
man.
you can dream about this thing that happened to you, but you can't glean what happened.
She gleaned way too much.
Of that. Oh wait, my mom is not my mom.
This
Yeah.
is one of the lazy moments I was
Yeah.
talking about, where it just like
We're
they're
just gonna
just
leap
like
to that.
just drop a bunch of
Yeah.
shit. But again, because it is a 1991 slasher, I definitely forgive that. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's still way above
Yeah.
Right.
most others, but that was
yeah,
one
that
of
was
the
like
ones
a
was
problem I
talking-
had. But even though it does make sense tonally,
Yes,
how goofy this movie is.
it does. It's totally okay because I wouldn't have wanted to sit through all the other garbage to get that exposition.
I don't know how you can call a movie that has a live performance of Scary, Scary Movies by Aussie D and Stevie G in it.
It was catchy.
Goofy. I like their cover of Saturday Night at the Movies too. It's fun.
Did anybody else think
Reggae.
that wig, Maggie, could be Shannon Doherty's sister?
I thought she looked like Kristen Ritter.
Well, whatever. I'm trying to like go through, then the killings start.
Now I do though.
She reminded me of more
the
of
puppet lady.
the
Oh, Tina. She with the girl's having an affair with the professor.
The killers killed off, the professor, but he's wearing the face, and then the girl is like, let's fuck, and then he kills her and then uses her like a weird puppet later, which was so creepy.
Yeah.
In the shadows. He thinks, because our killer is a perfect mimic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Perfection. And then like he lures, anyway, it was
But
so
I
good.
love the voice he uses for her. It's like when guys in movies and TV shows make lady voices.
It's me. I'm a lady
Exactly.
with boobs and a vagina, and I'm wearing a dress.
It's that voice. And then, like, Wig and boyfriend walk away. And then he says, like, Tina looks like shit. Within, like, 10 feet of her.
Mark.
that was so funny.
You're gonna feel real shitty about that later when you realize.
Look, it's like, she needs to eat more. She looks like shit. So it's Convey. He cares for her, but he's also
He's an
insulting her.
asshole. Oh man! By the way, the music sounds familiar. That's Paul Zaza,
Oh.
who did the music to A Christmas Story,
Yeah.
He should go on tour with Gaga.
and did the music for Hello Mary Lou Prom Night too.
Well, you mentioned Porky's, which
And
is Bob
Porky's,
Clark.
yeah.
So that guy probably worked.
That's true.
with-
That's the connection right there.
yeah.
Zaza.
So yeah, a bunch of people started dying and stuff. Oh, electrocution death.
Yeah, that was pretty cool and
was
tense.
rough.
It was tense.
Yeah.
Sad, too.
And it was sad.
He was a fun character.
He was
Yeah.
he was like the clown. The nice guy clown.
He was the cotton candy head guy. Yeah. He said I look like a fucking snow cone. Yeah, good line.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was killing everybody sort of like on theme to the movies.
Yeah.
And then, what happens at the end?
Well, the big
we find
reveal
out
is that he also was his mom was also in the cult too, and he was in the building
This is your Scream
got
3
burned.
moment.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
where
that.
is this where they figured it out on the from all the newspaper articles at that grumpy guy's house?
You mean the murder board?
The guy, the whole like backstory of the movie comes out, and her just looking at various articles on a wall while a guy talks grumpily.
yeah, it's like it laid out everything.
Yeah.
It's like baby survives fire, and then Toby D'Amato goes through like skin surgery and stuff.
Toby D'Amato vows revenge.
Toby D'Amato right behind you.
Like it spoon fed
Toby.
us the background and like the big
yeah.
reveal. But like I said, it's goofy.
It is
It's a
good
goofy movie.
and it has some really great moments. Actually, it's very entertaining.
Oh yeah, the visual effects, the makeup effects.
The makeup effects are great.
Can you guys help me? I had a note here, and I don't remember why.
I will not.
The
help
sculptor also worked on From Dusk Till Dawn and Blade Runner. That's one of the sculptors that worked on this. And then I know there was. I'm using my own murder board right now, but
Oh, now I remember my
it's not.
note.
It's not as easy as it should be.
Do you want me to go on then? While you're...
Yes.
Okay. So I wrote this note and twins, and I couldn't remember why. And now I remember because the bad guy was wearing the face of who was it at the urinal that he's peeing on?
Oh, that was a great scene.
It was
I
good.
can't remember that kid's name, but the
Yeah.
the
He's
one
just another
kid.
student.
Yeah.
The one that's in the straitjacket.
Yeah.
He's just in the bathroom peeing, and then somebody walks up next to him and starts peeing, and he looks over, and it's him.
Yeah.
He's looking at himself.
That was a great moment.
And then
really
it
great
like,
moment.
yeah,
And then he
person turns over
and pees on his leg.
And it looked like real pee. Like they made it yellow. Usually they just show like a wet spot.
Yeah. Yeah.
When they show somebody pee and you see the pee, it
looked
was
yellow.
yellow, man.
They're like, make it like a diabetic dude.
It's like real. Colin even was like, he needs to drink some wine.
Yeah, it shouldn't be that dark. Wig is captured by Toby along with Dee Wallace in a full body cast
Yeah.
It was so silly.
with her arm out with a gun.
Like he's wheeling her around, she can't move because she's in a full body cast.
Full body.
And he has to wheel D. Wallace around and push her around.
It
And,
is great. That's so funny.
And she has like tape over her mouth. So
It's
she-
uncomfortable.
Just visually, it's just so
It's
fun.
pretty funny. It's like wow, you went to a lot of trouble you didn't have to go.
You know
to.
what it reminds me of is that old Vincent Price Dr. Phibes movie.
Yeah.
It's got the same vibe.
There's like
It's got Phibes.
it's got five. He's like monologuing and talking and like doing his getting ready with me video like they do on YouTube nowadays. Like he's got his burnt up face
No,
and he's
like,
showing how he prepares
What's it called?
himself.
A fit check.
Sure,
That's what they do
I
call it
don't
now.
know. I'm in my
Like
40s.
cut crease, the Toby way. I literally cut my crease. He's basically Fire Marshal Bill. Is this the origin of Fire Marshal Bill?
Nearly Toby is what he calls himself,
Yeah.
and that was like scary to me the
That's
way he
very
looked.
creepy.
It was the way he said it and the way
Yeah.
it was really that part was really good.
Yeah.
Really Toby. Yeah, I can't believe it's not Toby.
It's less calories and
Him
stuff.
with his
That's
face
healthier
just
for you.
hanging off of his face,
Like head
flapping
flapping
around.
as he's talking.
But it's
I
his
want
real
Arby's.
face. Like it's
Yeah.
like the actor's real face, but
So
they make
they
it
put,
look
like,
like
the-
it's a mask that's hanging half on, half off of this burnt.
good.
But then he's like switching all the other faces
And
he's
then he's-
copied.
Oh yeah.
And that was a
Ooh.
cool like
It was
reveal,
really
too.
good. Yeah.
Because he like all the other actors that he copied, the characters he had to copy faces from, they had to put on that little stretchy
Yeah.
prosthetic too, just for like
Yeah, the
a
effects were
couple
great.
seconds.
The effects were great. There is something missing from this movie that I can't identify that has prevented it from becoming a cult classic or anything. It's just not that. It's not like woo, but it's like got great moments, and I had fun.
Yeah, same.
But there's no like impetus to like keep watching it. Every year we rewatch certain movies.
Yeah.
That's not there for me.
Well, it's just like as good as Fade of Black is, I don't think I'm gonna revisit that
No.
all the time. It's the same
Right.
with this. Like I love this movie,
I appreciate
but
what
I'm
it's
not
in.
going to like revisit it often.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
I
Fade
would,
of Black
I wouldn't
is
turn it off.
Yeah, like
But it
Fade
feels
to Black.
like horror movie fan bait.
Yeah.
It feels like cult classic bait, and it just didn't quite reach
I
it.
think it's like for a lot of some people, it's a cult classic.
It's becoming
Yeah.
like because apparently like I think this was like one of those blockbuster movies when we worked there that there was like one copy on the wall. It was not like a big movie, but I think the flaws in it may be part of the reason why it is becoming rediscovered as a cult classic, because it has like weird 90s fingerprints all over it.
Mm-hmm.
People love the 90s.
But it's
right
still
now.
like on the
Yeah.
borderline of 80s too.
Yeah, that's
right
what I.
there.
That's kind of how I described it to Alise. I was like, it's like an '80s. It's like one of those late '80s movies where they were trying to transition, but it still felt very '80s.
Yeah.
The fashion was so bad.
Did their overalls? No, I'm thinking of something else.
Yeah.
We watched another movie where someone had horrible overalls on.
Was it arcade?
No, it was whatever happened to
Baby Jane.
question mark the Red Graves.
Oh, the
Remake.
remake. I
did
saw
watch that.
It was a
TV movie?
I loved it. We watched it with riff tracks, and the movie itself I would have liked anyway, but with riff tracks it was an awesome experience. Have you watched that, Andy?
I never even heard of it.
Yeah, you should watch it.
I watched it when it came out.
So was
I mean,
it
it's been a long time.
Vanessa Redgrave and
And
Lynn
Lynn
Redgrave.
Redgrave, yeah.
Yeah,
Grave.
and they update it, and it's got a great twist. That's a little different from the original with the John Glover. John Glover's in it too, who was Lex Luthor, and I don't know what else. American Gothic maybe, but I look at Kelley like, were you
Give
a
us
Superman
John
fan?
Glover's IMDb page if you
not.
could.
Yeah, but no, but John Glover, you'll know his face probably. He's a great actor. Plays a really interesting character in it. It's good stuff. Was that Thunder?
No, that was
It was
the
the
dog
thunder of
snoring.
your dogs.
Oh my god!
breathing.
She's got I know.
She needs
She's
a
fat.
CPAP machine.
Oh,
TM, I've been working on it, guys.
She needs a cork for her asshole, but she only got us like once tonight,
She did?
right, Andy?
Couple times.
twice I think.
Twice,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm on the,
Well, that's
I
a
dodged
handful
it.
less than normal.
What was the stinky movie called again?
The
Stench,
stench.
The Stench.
which is a great name for a movie, and somebody
Yeah, it
should
is.
make that.
How the Stench Stole Christmas.
All right, popcorn.
Popcorn.
Yeah, popcorn.
What's on deck for next week?
Next week, is, I've forgotten, so I'm going to pull up the schedule.
Anguish.
Anguish, that's right. Anguish. Zelda Rubinstein. Andy suggested this movie.
No, I've never
right?
heard of it, but I was just Googling.
okay.
I Googled.
Yeah.
And it just stuck out to me as very fun and original.
Yeah, it's fun. It's
Zelda Rubinstein, too.
It disgusted me when I was a kid. I didn't like it, but I had a strong reaction to it. But now I know I'm going to love it because I felt the same way about movies like Basket Case and The Beast Within. They felt too dirty.
Oh, so this is grody.
I remember it being a pretty grimy movie.
Like art housey.
Yeah. It was a movie I could not process.
All right.
I
I'm
can't
excited.
process this. I'm this movie intolerant, and it makes my stomach have bad diarrhea.
That doesn't mean I don't like it. The diarrhea.
I'll still
aside.
eat it. I just take on the diarrhea. But sometimes I like something spicy, like a Zelda Rubinstein.
It's how I like. I'm lactose intolerant, but I eat dairy and ice cream all the
Sometimes
time.
you do it anyway, for sure.
I get my Zelda Rubinsteins without sauerkraut for that very reason.
Yeah.
But it's good for you though. All the probiotics. And
Yeah.
things.
We're getting a
fermented.
Zelda live action movie. You guys casting it in your head already?
Zelda Rubinstein?
I don't know the story of Zelda.
I don't either. There's
Just
a
think of
princess
an elf
called
that-
Zelda,
just look of-
and then
think
there's
of
a
an
dude
elf
named
named
Link.
Link.
And Zelda.
That's all
but
I got,
as
too.
far as
He looks
I
like
got.
an elf to you.
I never got to play it because my friends who had it when we were kids, they would never share.
Ooh, my friend had the gold version, and I was like, ooh,
My
fancy.
friend, I think, my friend had the gold Zelda too. No, I never got to play it at the time. I never had interest.
You know, that's probably literally worth more than its weight in gold now. Like
It
if
wasn't
you have
real
one in a
gold.
box.
You could take it back to the Old West and pay for like a whole year's worth of rent at a
With a-
saloon.
At a brothel.
with an NES cartridge.
Yeah,
Partner.
gold.
Can you break this?
You're gonna bite
you
it.
got change.
Blowing it.
Thanks so much.
Thank you, listeners and patrons.
Yeah, at the end of every show, we say hi to our Beelzebubs. Patreon.com/NOTLP.
All right, let's bring the energy.
Woo! We got Alise.
Elise, I love you. I can't wait to see you.
Alyssa.
Woo, girl.
Branan.
Oh my God, you guys are the best.
Jeffel. Iona Goodwin.
Oh, a great one.
Dr. Brian.
Dr. Brian, I appreciate your service to
dirty.
people who need doctors.
Bill Sturd.
Doctors without Bill Sturz.
Oh.
Bill Varner.
He's farting legal drugs.
Frosted Blakes.
Drugs.
Plain yogurt.
Oh my
Or
goodness,
drugs.
I love it.
Jordan.
Fruit on the bottom, jeans.
Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hi.
Jeremy. Cassie. Gamora.
I give you all.
Pew, 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 pew. Ernie. Dave Siebert.
I wish we did have air horns. It cracks me up.
And Dustin.
I made an old
Do you
timey
have any
clacker
noises?
from the 20s.
I'll use the fart noise.
Oh, there you go.
Let me see if I can. I can't get one.
Sorry,
I can't get a good.
Amy's
feel.
got a real loose asshole, so it doesn't work. Oh, there it goes. You got a little toot.
I can't channel that guy from Police Academy like you guys are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Michael Winslow.
Yeah.
Michael Winslow. He's awesome.
I have no sound effects.
You are
Aw.
dead inside.
He was born without sound effects, tragically.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.